Savage Dragon 49 from May of 1998. Probably one of my favorite issues so far. Some real memorable moments in this one. So let's get into it. Erik Larsen writes and draws, Chris Eliopoulos letters, Ruben Rude colors, and Josh Eckhorn swallows. We open up with the long-awaited reunion of Super Tough and Young Tough, or Bert and Adam. Their Christian names there. For those unfamiliar, let me refer to the Savage Dragon companion containing everything you could possibly want to know about everyone's favorite Finhead and more. So, Super Tough was like a crime fighter from the 60s and later joined by his teenage sidekick, Young Tough. And then in a battle with Dark Lord over there, a bomb went off that killed Super Tough and horribly disfigured Young Tough, ruining his life and him becoming the vigilante Mace, now ending up in prison. But Super Tough was not dead. He was fighting Dark Lord on another planet in an alternate dimension. But now he's back on Earth, and he wants to see young Bert, who is also equally excited to see his former lover. That's right. These two were hot for each other. And reading this now, this moment's kind of sweet, you know? Until you think about the age difference. There's like a 20-year age difference between these two characters, which means Super Tough was pretty much grooming his kid sidekick into this relationship. Problematic, but played for laughs here. Kind of like the ambiguously gay duo on Saturday Night Live, basically insinuating that Batman and Robin were fucking each other. You know, the late 90s were interesting. Will and Grace premiered a few months after this issue was printed. So that kind of gives context to where we were culturally in regards to gay representation in media. And another reminder of the times is Officer Howard Niceman, just disgusted by this. And he starts rattling off every offensive gay slur that he can think of while this reunion unfolds. And it's crass, and some readers definitely are offended by it. But when they write in to complain, Larsen tells them to lighten up and quit being so politically correct in regards to comics, really. He says that, Howard is a hateful bigot, and, we're basically meant to kind of laugh at his reaction and its absurdity. Now for a truly funny gag, no matter what decade you're in, the Special Operations Strike Force, the SOS, have been dispatched to deal with the Atlantean and his underwater warriors who have emerged from Atlantis to claim dominion over the surface world. Sounds pretty scary until it turns out that their weapons don't work out outside of water, and then they start blowing up after their bodies become victim of explosive decompression. And Rock is just imploring these guys to please return to the water and save yourselves. But the Atlantean refuses, and he summons a horde of sea creatures to attack, which results in just thousands of fish just flopping around on the beach. And his men flee, and the Atlantean is arrested before his army of crabs can rescue him. And this was pretty funny and timely because Larsen had been announced as the new writer of Aquaman. So he's kind of poking fun at the character here. You can see the similarities. Aquaman's hook is also the same as the Atlantean's leg here. Pretty good stuff. So Rita and William are in disguise and on the run, but they decide to return to Chicago. Then another great reveal here. Cyberface's head in Brainy Ape's body stuffed into Overlord's armor. Hilarious image. I just love this faceplate covering the fishbowl there and all the hair poking out. Just totally ridiculous. But then these guys are attacked by these leeches, as well as the remaining members of the Vicious Circle, who are also under the control of the Horde and his leeches. And then Killcat and his new partner, Beast Boy, they join the fight. But it gets out of hand, and so the police call in for reinforcements. The police call in for reinforcements, which interrupts Dragon and Alex, who looks pretty annoyed that He took this phone call right in the middle of this gratuitous sex scene. Anyway, they get dressed and they head to the fight while reminding each other that this is strictly a physical relationship. Then we get a pinup here by Francesco featuring his character ex-Stacy with the dragon. All right, so the deadly duo are getting their butts kicked. And then, Beast Boy gets knocked out of the atmosphere. And even the bad guy is impressed with the hang time there. So now it's time for Dragon to take on Overbrain or Cyber Ape Lord, whatever the hell this monstrosity is called. Him and Dragon are battling to the death once and for all, just in time for the cliffhanger, where Hitler's brain makes a surprise appearance, and he wants his body back. So bravo. Excellent issue. One of the funniest, most absurd sort of issues to date. There's no other comics like Savage Dragon. On to the letters page, which is full of typos. Apparently Larson upgraded his computer, and he had a different version of Microsoft Word than the guys who printed it or something, and it screwed up some of the text in this issue. So there's about 7 pages of Fanatics here, mostly positive reaction to issue 47, followed up with Desperate Times by Chris Eliopoulos. And in this one, Marty gets a job as a mailman, and so most of the jokes are about going postal. It's a simpler time when jokes about gun violence were just specific to the United States Postal Service. And then this issue features one last gag, an advertisement for Desperate Times, the official comic, and Larson's trying to help sell the book with some sex appeal there. So that will do it for this one. Next up is a thick one. Issue 50, and the death of Savage Dragon.